Hi, back again.
Like,
Technical issues.
te- yeah.
It is a technical issues because I didn't get it. I'm
Well, this
terrible
is
with
the
technology.
first time I've ever done this, and I didn't know that YouTube stops it after an hour.
But
Like,
it was before than an hour.
it was 56 minutes, but it just
No, it's
stopped
more.
it. And so we're gonna have to do a part two. So if you haven't seen part one, this is part two of the first live stream between me and Fabio that we're doing here on this channel. In part one, we talk about who we are and I'm transitioning for January 2025. Fabio was actually speaking about his process of grief for his mother, who we found out today is it's soon, that her terminal status is soon. And so he's
Yeah.
incredible and can be here for all of it. So
Um. Basically, I was kind of like part one. I already like explain a little bit, so I was explaining more like where my decision of me to make a choice in the first place, which was towards focusing on my business, was coming into place. So my mama started to get sick 2 years ago. During the pandemic mm, period, and was kind of like a back and forth with between doctor and everything. But already like from there, how was playing out? It was from I felt it like seeing a movie and knowing already where how I end up with. In the beginning was a lot of resistance from my side. I was tried to be very very much present, at least on the phone, for understand like in the very early stages of the entire process, like when you go to the doctor, say this, say that. But my way of dealing with things, normally I'm like really okay, let's get shit done and let's sort it. um, but of course that I wasn't able to, because for example I had a little bit of training on um, because basically I used to work in a health food store, so I know medical terminology because I received training as a nutritionist basically, and different illnesses. So when they will say something that was coming back to me, tell me, oh, that one is what they say, and I had to literally say, it's like, guys, you need to, because that one is what happened. It was happening, and what happened at some point, like I was taking over, and that one is my way of not feeling powerless. So because from there it's kind of like we need to do something, and until like my brother told me like, okay, you need to step back because this one is not that you not make it easier, because mom feel under pressure. She starts to forget like what she need to ask because there is this pressure from you. From there I understood like, okay, in the end of the day, uh, I already told her anything that I can possibly say to her about like how go in a different way. And on an emotional perspective, an energetic perspective, cancer, which is what my mom has, is basically when the body is stop complying on the way you live in your life. So it's a way for saying, look, I'm done with that. You need to make different choices. You need to live in a different way. If you don't do this, I'm gonna remove myself from the situation. Like literally is the end result. Um, so then I was trying to also kind of like help her in that process. But of course, there I'm on board, but she didn't. And still she is her choice. At that point I had to choose like, how do I go with that? So for me it was starting this process that lasts long, and I went through different stages. And probably you see me more grounded right now because it's a process that for me was a growing experience where I had to learn how to let go and accept any choice that somebody else is making, even if I think and I see that is not the right choice, because it's still free will and it's their choice to decide how they want to die in the end. That one was that need really uh, my process thought. It's like that one is what I told to myself, and that one is something that I had to swallow. Because of course, for deal with reality, you need to swallow some truth.
Mm.
How painful they are doesn't matter, but that is the truth. Then you can do something about it. From there, like was me feeling powerless to a certain degree that I had to challenge some way, and I challenged through learning piano with a specific purpose of play the song on her funeral when it's gonna happen. And that one helped enormously because made me feel less in a state of being powerless. So from there, I was able to move, be
Mm.
in a better place where I could actually be more supportive towards myself and make a different choice. From there was the question, which was a list of this explanation, where I had to choose: do I stay here and keep going with which is my goal in life, like having Relax, which is my company that I build up, and focusing on that and make it grow and be a better coach that can possibly be, or drop everything, go back in Italy, uh, and knowing that the situation in Italy, I came here because of the economic crisis. So if I knew it that if I go there, I had to have a job because I cannot stay on my parents' house. And literally, that one means I had to work, pay rent,
Mhm.
and the work there is not easy. So, and probably I get stuck there for more than what I'm meant to or I want to, if it's not the entire life. And it's something that I have to kind of like think and swallow. It's like, do I go there and stay beside my mother once again, dropping entire all my life, or staying here and do what I meant to do? Because what I'm doing is not for me, it's also for the collective. Is my way of being on service. Or somebody actually want to make the choice of changing and use my methodology. For how hard it was, I choose to stay here. And I'm fully aware and taking all the consequences and already thinking like, oh, my brother may say like, oh, you leave everything to us, you didn't engage too much. But at the same time, I know where I stand for, and I know that they don't understand the entire of my process, and it's fine in that way.
Mm.
But I own and I'm owning
Your
that
choice.
decision and my
Yeah.
choice, because I had to start with that
Mhm.
and literally processing, and I know where I've been through. They don't know because I try to also not make them worry
Yeah.
or overboard, because in the end, like that one is I tend to do things by myself, even sometimes too much, and he's helping me out on that for being like more asking for help
Yeah.
and allow others to um, support me. But yeah, basically that. And I realized more and more like today was kind of like is the reframe of refresh of the purpose that I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So yeah, and I, for me, was that one is a strong, an even strong call. That also, when you have see when you are in purpose, and when you kind of like have a strong uh, motives and a strong foundation, that support you, all the fear, all the things is gonna kind of like go down. So even like me fearing of a live stream, of public speaking, of appearing on a screen, is just gone in a way. It's still a little bit, but just a tiny
Yeah.
whisper.
What
Yeah.
what do you think there's something, I guess, is what unlocked that? What freed up space? Or do you think it's a freeing of space, or was it you holding
As
back and now?
I'm all okay. In a way, it's like when you again come back to the concept of power and me stepping in my personal power, because I was too much. I wasn't able to allow myself to also see my capability and my fullest. So because I've been told that I'm too much and I have to do myself. That's one of how I grew up with. So in the end, I had to undo what has been done to me in a way, in that way, like as a frame, and that one was the process. And this one is what unlock is also even more power in a way.
Mm.
Because here I'm kind of like, because as I said before, like my father pushed a little bit my mom on the edge to get worse quickly also. Um so that one coming from the place where we don't know, people don't know themselves, don't know how much are impactful for somebody else's life. Even like the more simple and stupid decision that you can possibly take or not take is actually have an impact of everything surround us. And that one is the concept of togetherness, which is part of my business
Mm-hmm.
main foundational belief system.
Yeah, like your mission statement and
Exactly. So it's kind of like and bringing like literally there is this question, if you start like we are the starter of process, it's like it's kind of like is a domino effect, which and that one is something that I heard and I always like kept mine as a phrase. You're the first domino for what? This is the question.
mm,
In which way you want to be the first domino? What do you want to bring?
mm,
And that one is where, for example, in the instance of my family, I see how not being aware of being the domino or the jump starter of a process is impactful, or somebody that actually is not on the right state of energy in that level. And for me, it's kind of like if everybody like we are more conscious of our emotion and how we uh, are literally affect others through our wound, our traumas, and how we, in a way, also trigger somebody else. And I feel like we need to hand that. It doesn't work anymore. And that one is because I saw it for the entire of my childhood until now. Like my childhood, I'm talk like physical abuse, sexual abuse. So there is a little bit of everything. So it's kind of like we are so separated, we are thinking like, oh, we don't matter, that even our action don't matter. And what I want to bring is that empowerment is everybody matter, everybody from the smallest, the little kid, to the oldest matter. It creates our reality, create our society. How do you choose to be? How do you want to be part of? That one was what push even more today.
so it's just interesting because we could even, a lot of people even use that as a double-edged sword,
Mm-hmm. True.
that everything I use say matters. So where your choice was everything I do matters, I'm gonna go leave and go create the life I want. Other people will be like, everything I do matters, I'm gonna stay here with my mom. and be by her side the entire time.
Yeah, but that one is a personal choice. That one is based, for example, I stay with I decide to not go with my mom because I've been there and I already give up everything. I done that experience and I know what it takes for me for rebuild myself up.
Mm-hmm.
It took me years before come back to studies and be able to.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to do a lot of things. Was absolutely like formative that period, 100%. By the end of the day, I also like the process that leads me like on the struggle on going in another country, find my own way again, come back to the study. Uh, is literally is what brought me to reconnect with myself in a complete all new level. Because for me, it's like I came here in London, and for me, it was not an equation. Oh, if I fail, I go back, and it wasn't that. The last things that I had is my father that told me like, oh, we can give like this apartment to him, but I don't know when we probably not give him taking him out of the house. So I don't know if I'm gonna give it to him. And like in 3 days, I was on the street because I was in the process of moving so into here, but was finished the tenancy like with a landlord at the time, and then I had to kind of like arrange all the stuff that I had at that time, and in 3 months was planned to come London. For him, I was like, no, because my mom like literally begged him. So then I was able to stay for that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it wasn't an option. I came here, it wasn't an option. So I didn't have that chance
Mm-hmm.
to say like, oh, if I feel like go back. So for me, it was like one way. And this is for saying is like was formative, but was a personal choice based off the experience that I had. And any choice can be matter, but at the same time matter as an individual based on what you value the most, and that one is what it is. I experience what I value the most,
Mm-hmm.
which is my work and my like I finding myself and my ability and my capability of helping people,
Mm-hmm.
which I had to discover and start to practice and see the how much impactful I can be, or somebody that actually want to be helped. So then I can actually do something for in a bigger scale. Yeah. This point is not for me. My decision was not anymore like, oh, we think like, I think like, oh, this is happen. I go back, and but I don't have the whole collective in mind. This is my mission. This is my purpose. And that one was the point where I had to, do you want to fully step in your purpose, or you want to give up everything and go square one years back when you were 25, at that time I was 23, like when I came in London, and like now I'm 41, like 3 years ago was 39 when my mom got sick. So it's a lot of years that I had to like build up myself to the point where I was able to have a business after finish the study now. So it's kind of like was most that. It's not like the specific choice that matters. It's more like what you choose to be for yourself. What matters for you. That one is what matters. And knowing that what you choose, they still have an impact. So you need to think also the consequences that
the
impact.
Consequences?
Because for example, you can I could choose like, okay, I go back to and help my mom. How many people I'm not able to help that want to be helped?
Yeah, there's always
because my mother wasn't like on the same spot, like it wasn't committed to do that type of work.
Yeah. So there's always a cost, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it makes sense. I've met someone who even they made the other choice and they stood. Oh Lord, I didn't. Sorry, give me
Batteries
two
is running low.
seconds.
Now it come. It's not touch. It's not a
No,
touch.
plug. Yeah. Just gotta, real life plug in for this. Whew.
We
Okay.
saved this. We saved the day.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah, it's gonna be messy, and that's what even one of our ideas when we had an idea for for what to call this. There was multiple ones. The one was called the spiritual mess, because it's gonna be messy. But I mean, it is messy, and even with your situation, everything, there's no, like I said, there's no perfect line. There's no, you do this and you do this and it's the right thing, the perfect thing. Everything has a cost. Everything is messy, and nothing is this nice, neatly fine line. Because I learned we're all of nature. We're all we To be a human is to be of nature, and nature is not clean and fine lined.
Nature is actually pure chaos,
It is pure
and
chaos.
chaos is feminine.
It's creation,
It's creation.
feminine. Yeah, it's chaos. Um, and I was thinking about your story. I actually know someone who went the opposite direction, who did stay home. They still stayed home and took care of their. I forgot who they took care of. I think it was their sibling, but also their mother, I think. And that took them a long time. And the mother passed. I think their sibling passed, and like somebody else passed. It was like three people in the family, in a few weeks. And at the end of the day, now he's like 50 something
Mhm.
and starting over and figuring it all out now and starting now, and don't have the energy, fully in codependency and in people pleasing, because all he was a caregiver. That's all he knows how to be. So he doesn't know how to like take care of himself. So now he wants to start life, but all his tendencies are around caregiving and people pleasing. And actually,
But
with
now he
some
doesn't have nobody to care about.
nobody to care about but himself, doesn't know how to do that. Um, Come into an environment full of people and starts to like take care of everyone.
Mhm.
And the interesting part about this was that this person and me were flirting and everything, right? And I was interested. And to be honest, he does massages for everyone. I want to give him a massage. Um, but every time I was looking for him, he was off somewhere with someone else, giving massages, hanging out, not hanging out actually. He usually was giving massage to someone somewhere else. Um, and I couldn't find him. And taking care of everyone. And one time that I was looking to take care of him, to hang out, have some personal, intimate time, gone. And then it was during a small time. I don't even know how much information I'm gonna share, but it was during a short period of time. I left and I went home, and then now the texting almost every day is happening, and I can't engage because you can't take care of yourself, but you want to build something with me. You
Becoming a
can't do anything for me because you can't do anything for yourself. So in
It's
my head,
becoming a coping mechanism.
yeah,
Like it's becoming the care for somebody else was a mean for avoid a pain inside that is not able to process or it wasn't willing to process. And that one there is nothing that actually you can do.
yeah,
You
because now
just take
I'm gonna be the new entertainment for him now, and that's what I didn't want to do. So I didn't recognize that pattern too. I recognize the pattern in people whenever when I look at him, and it's like being pulled. Like anybody could command you and like call you, and you're pulled and you're gone. And yeah, you're trying to fill spaces and fill spaces and fill spaces. Yeah, and then you're trying to at the same time think that you can go build something deep, and you can't because you're not even with yourself. I always say to my sister, "You're stretched too thin. You're everywhere." I would tell her, "Stop abandoning yourself. Stop leaving yourself to go across the room and take care of that, and take care of this, and take care of everybody else's feelings." We're all adults. We all got the same systems. We're born with the same systems. If you're not, you literally have a label as mental illness. They need extra systems. But unless you have a mental illness, you have the same system. Or something else. Actually, usually mental illness is the only thing that really would. So mental illness really is like one of the things where you lose that mental system. We all have the same systems. We all have the same nervous system. Not the same, but we also have nervous systems,
Yeah.
which is meant to take care of the emotional aspect and learning how to regulate them, which most of us never learned how to. That is a separate conversation. Most people don't know how to regulate the nervous system, but we all still have a nervous system. And therefore, you leaping across the room to go take care of this person's nervous system, one leaves yours abandoned, but you disservice them because they now don't know how to take care of their own nervous system because they're just going to keep looking at you to like make them feel better. And so I can't be in a friendship, relationship, partnership of any sort with someone
No, exactly.
that does that because when I need you, you're not there, and I can't take care of you because maybe that's the situation that some people are in where like, let me take care of you. You can't even take care of them because they're not there. They left to go take care of somebody else. So then you have to deal with the other BS, and that's where a lot of the abusive, toxic relationships happen when they come back, and because they never took care of their nervous system, because they put it everywhere else, now they're lashing out on you because you are the nearest thing who doesn't need anything from them.
And that one is the point. It's a huge rejection, and you make them feel useless.
Yeah,
And that's when it's kind of like the trigger.
yeah, could you probably say some things to them
Because
or treat them
also
some way?
becoming the becoming an identification is like is something that I noticed that a lot of times happen in people is we tend to identify with the things that we do, not for who we are.
Mm.
So, and as you really like a slippery slope when you go there, because if you identify with something that you do and I remove that, so then you're gonna freak out, then you're gonna lose yourself, then you're gonna kind of like, in this case, I'm the helper, I'm the supporter, you do also this, but you are not there.
Yeah.
Because if I remove the fact that you are like a supporter, what,
Then who
like,
are you?
I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out
Yeah.
and I'm losing my ground
So of
because my
course you
foundation, I build up my foundation on something that is not actually a
tangible
tangible foundation,
or long lasting. I was just
or at
like
least
constant. Yeah.
something that I always try to also teach to the people I work with, my clients, is in a special way in the beginning, if you're aware of some dynamic, rather than work against your limit, work with your limit, but you need to know your limit. So it's kind of like, for example, in this instance, I will say like, okay, if you need like to maintain your sense of self to help people, so then use different resources. Don't resource in only one way.
Mhm.
Try to expand it. So in that way, you, if it's not happening in one way, you have other resources to can like a little bit help on managing while you are processing it, but he wasn't even there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. That's why I think with me, I would, with my clients, I would come back to the you before all of this. The you when you were a kid, the you with the things that lit you up, the thing that brought you joy, the things that felt good to you before you started responding so robotically to everybody else. And I love to use different systems like astrology and different things that gives us a hint because a lot of time people are like, I don't know, I have no idea. And then I like to use these different identity systems that gives you that hint and that clue of like, oh yeah, back then I did like to draw, that was a thing. And then using that to start from there to uncover who you are underneath and what you always actually secretly deeply desired, but
Mm.
you put it on hold and then lost it. So now you're like, you don't know where you are.
Mm.
You have to go
It's gonna
find it.
come back to that internal compass, that internal guidance system that is
Exactly.
dialing. You need to just dial. It's kind of like a radio. You need to dial yourself into tune
Back to
within
you.
yourself, back to you,
Mm-hmm.
with your higher self.
Recentering.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, and so the interesting thing I was going to tell you, in regards to like all the transitioning happening with your mom and everything,
Mm.
is when I went to the gym yesterday.
Okay.
This is a bad story, but it's
No, but
fine.
please say it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's who I am.
Let up the mood.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't know. It was
Sorry.
like it was like
Okay.
it was like
So you've done the face. I was like,
someone
oops.
died in the gym. What?
Assassinate the body.
Terrible. See, dark humor. Um, no. I was so one of the workers there looked fat as hell, and he looked fine as hell in his short shorts, and they were like doing a lot of work. So it was terrible because I'm on the machine where you like bend forward, like the bend back machine.
Okay.
And I'm on the machine bending, and I bend up. I come back upward, and when I say this man is in the most compromising position, like getting something underneath something, so he's on his knees, his butt is up in the air, and he's like digging in to go do something. And I was just like, I forget everything I'm doing. I'm just staring, like, oh my god, what is it? And I was literally like, thank you, universe. You do what I needed.
Gift.
Thank you. And so I'm like, no, Jesani, we're better than this. We're not gonna do this. We're better than this, right?
Let's round it back.
I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to stare. Even though now, you ever seen someone? This is terrible. But the best, I think, sometimes the best position whenever someone is like doing a bunch of things and just in this position where you're just like, I feel like you know what you're doing. When they actually, it's funny that whenever I'm checking out a guy and he's on the floor doing something. Actually, my favorite thing for them to do isn't like just like knees on the floor, butt in the air. It's actually when they move their legs straight back because then the butt muscle tightens and you can like, and there's more
Okay.
shape and you just see more.
Okay.
He does that. And I'm just like, universe, see, you're making me look. I'm trying not to look, but now like he's
It's
doing.
the temptation.
The temptation is too much, and I'm thinking it's a test. So I'm a person also like, is this a test? Oh my god, is this a test? Am I failing this test? So I'm
Like
literally
staying
having
there.
anxiety, like, am I failing the test? I'm doing terrible. And something says, and I hear, no, keep looking. Yeah, and I'm like,
Okay.
at first I'm thinking like, who's saying this? But the voice does feel like gentle and subtle. It's like, just keep looking. And I'm like, so I'm like one eye looking, but then I just like, girl, that's so Raven happens.
Okay.
So I have a connection to time. I have a connection to time. Um, and I've noticed when I was dipping in my star seed stuff and lineage thing. So I have this thing with time where time for me moves differently. It moves differently. I have a lot of deja vu. My deja vu moved into deja reve or revere. If you know what deja reve is, it's where deja vu is like a moment feels familiar and you're like, oh, this feels familiar. Something happened. Deja reve is basically the timelines just split and you see the outcome of the other timeline. You see what would have happened if you made this decision and you see it clearly too. It's not even just like a
But only
familiar moment.
one or both of them?
You see one. You see the one that you're not on. So you see where
Okay.
it would have went.
Okay.
It sounds interesting. So like for instance, if
It
there was
reminds me a lot of Sliding Doors as a movie.
there's a movie.
Sliding Doors.
I never seen that. movie.
Okay, fine.
I've never seen the movie. Sorry. Um,
Watch that.
Sliding doors, but we can actually also turn on the light because also it's getting dark outside, but you can still see us. Um, yeah. So imagine like in one. Actually, this is perfect. Imagine in one, I actually stand up to turn on the light, and I kick over this and knock down that, and da 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 da. Right. Um, in the moment that I decide not to stand up, I will actually get a play like of that happening, of seeing myself stand up, kick this over, knock this over, and instantly know what would have happened if I would have made a
Mm,
different choice.
okay.
That's deja vu. Um,
Okay.
I've been getting that a lot more now. I've been getting that for like a year now, and so that's been popping up a lot. I've only one other time got a full premonition where on the same timeline,
Mm,
I know what's about to happen.
okay.
That's only happened to me once before. And so when I stare at this guy, when they say, no, keep looking, because I'm thinking I shouldn't be looking. And he's like, keep looking. And I look, I go into a That's So Raven. So That's So Raven's my favorite TV show. I love it. It's on Disney Channel. And I literally get a premonition where like the vision goes away. It blurred first it shimmered, and then it went away. And I saw what will happen. I saw that I won't be coming back to the gym anymore. That this is actually going to be one of the last times I come back to the gym.
Okay.
I saw that I have to go to Portugal. I saw myself in Portugal, and I saw the feeling in Portugal that I feel, and this feeling came over me. And then I came back. I was freaking out. I was just like, oh my god.
Okay, full download of information.
Yeah, but more than a download, because a
Mm,
download is like claircognizance. Like I
yeah.
know this. This was like because claircognizance. This is how I see downloads and claircognizance different than a premonition.
Mm,
A download or a thing can give you information about something,
okay.
aka that man has a wife and kid at home, and she's pregnant, and he actually has a past life of this download.
Mm.
Um,
So it's more coming from the information of the Akashish record.
right.
Okay, cool.
Right, which all time can be recorded in Catch Record. You can actually see the future in Catch Record, but they're all possibilities because it's about timelines you're
Yeah.
on. Right. So download would have been like information like Portugal is really nice to go to right now. As the weather is nice, da 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 da,
Okay.
or something like that. But premonition is I literally see what's going to happen.
Mm,
Where I know a choice of mine will bring this.
mm,
This choice will make this happen, and actually see it or feel it,
mm,
which was interesting because I felt it more than I saw it. The first time I had a premonition, I saw it all.
mm,
I didn't feel it. I saw it, and I was on the phone with a friend and I told her like, "This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen." And I told her we're not gonna be friends anymore. Um, and she's like, "I don't see that," and I didn't see it happening either. She didn't see it happening. I'm like, "Yeah, it feels crazy, right? I shouldn't believe it. It's stupid. I shouldn't believe it." And she's like, whatever happens, this friendship has been amazing. Just know that, but I don't see that happening. I'm like, me either. Fine.
How long? Before the rock.
It took like probably 2 weeks before it all played out as I saw it would.
Okay.
Um, but there is power in it. I've had someone tell me like, well, just on you also accepted the timeline, which I do believe. I believe in sovereignty. I believe we all have sovereignty, so
Mm,
we can accept this timeline or not. So the first time I did accept the timeline. I believed in it and I believed it was real, and I was actually really scared because it was real. So I was anxious and scared the whole time. But I made sure not to cause it. Here's the interesting part. I thought, because I said, if I'm going to be conscious and scared, I'm going to cause this to happen. I'm going to create it. So I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to cause it. We're good. And I warned her so that we don't create it together. And she fully created it on her own.
mm.
I mean, I did co-create it by like not trying to repair the relationship. I kind of was like, knew this was gonna happen.
Okay.
I knew we were not gonna be friends anymore, and so I didn't go try to repair it and change it. So that's my responsibility.
But again, you say like I believed in the
But I
timeline. You
believed in it,
choose the
so I chose
timeline.
it. Yeah. So when it happened, when the events played out, I chose to accept them and be like, okay, we're not gonna be friends. This I can say the timeline was really good. It
Mm,
felt really fulfilling and good.
okay.
Like I felt so good.
You mean the one in the
The one
gym?
in the gym.
Okay, cool.
And it had nothing to do with that man over
Okay.
there, which I wanted him to feel good too. I wanted to feel good with that man. But that didn't happen. But weirdly, because what happened was the image, it's almost the image matching. So
Mm,
that's why they told me keep watching. Because what happened is the image, I realized the image of him matched the image of the premonition and like it lined up and matched. So then like reality shifted and I was no longer just looking at him. All of a sudden I started scanning the entire gym. My head is in one place,
so literally,
but
you
my
went
mind went
into the rabbit hole where
yes.
the hole is the
That's
battle of the guy.
that's what it felt like. It felt like it literally that's what it felt like. It literally felt like I got sucked into a rabbit hole where at first I'm looking at something and then all of a sudden my eyes aren't only in my
Yes.
head. It does this full scan of the gym and then all of a sudden picture, feeling. And it literally feels like you've been sucked down something and then you're back and you're like, what the fuck just happened? So that's what you feel like that's so Raven because you feel like I just and that's a Raven her cue whenever she gets a premonition is and then
Okay.
she comes back. That's what it felt like. I literally just did this and then came back and it was like I couldn't even work out. I literally just like oh shit.
Let me go.
So like I tried to keep going, but all I wanted to do is just sit down and write. So I just
Right.
write.
Ah, right. Right.
And so I was like, I just went to a place. I just did a few real fast and then just went
It's
to
like, let's get over quickly.
I was just like, okay, we're good. And I wrote it. And it's funny because why that's connected to Fabio is because I made a decision with him. I told him like I don't think I should be going to Portugal. I felt like not yet. I felt like it's too late. I think the same day I think it was. The same day
Yeah.
I said I went to the bathroom and I thought, do I want to
Yeah.
go? And I connected to my feelings, and it felt like not yet. Yeah, not yet. I'm like yeah, I felt like it was too early, and I decided not to go. I decided not to go. Then I go to the gym, and I'm just like, yeah, I have to go, don't I? Gotta go. And then this happens to you. And I realize I can't stay here. You're going through this process. I mean, you would let me stay here. I know that.
Oh no.
But I can't. Even you were talking about this month going back.
Mm. Yeah.
So I saw it. I was like, yeah, see?
Yeah, just for my mom's birthday.
Yeah. Which is thankfully happens to be this month. So
Mm.
it's kind of also a weird alignment with that. But I just felt like I needed to go there and you needed to take care of your stuff.
Mm.
You know? And so
Divine timing.
divine timing, it's so
We are
incredible.
always like in a way or another, like what not shocked me, but at the same time shocked me
It's exciting.
because we are on the same path sometimes of in terms of topic, what we're dealing with, but in a complete different fashion, or we kind of like what happened to you, what happened to me, line up
Ends up being like a
like literally a perfect puzzle.
yeah. Yeah, it's
And
it
there,
never gets old.
no, but at the same time, I feel like really where the universe have our back.
Yeah.
As I literally
Fully.
I feel fully supported in a way or another,
Mm,
and I think you as well.
I definitely do.
So
Because I fully decided not to go.
yeah,
And
no,
it,
yeah, it was yes, it was kind of
and,
like no, I don't go.
and it wasn't even subtle. It's funny because even after that, I was like, can I get a clear I go, can I get a clear sign that you're saying go? And the next thought is, just honey, what clearer do you need? Like literally, like you left reality for a minute to come back. What more do you need? And I thought, you're right, you're right. It makes sense. And then this happens. I don't know why I thought it was a huge tarantula outside. For a minute, I saw a tarantula,
Toronto.
where that thing is. I don't know why I thought it was a spider. I just saw this huge tarantula there, and I
Okay.
was like, ah. Um, but yeah, it's fascinating when you start to get into the place of divine feminine and flow and water. We were talking about a lot of water.
Mhm.
How you literally would just start watching things move and align as you're just walking. Things will just connect, and you're like,
But also you need to, for example, something that I'm learning, you need to also line up your internal water, so then the universe can see you and can kind of like drag you with him, because you
yeah.
need to be in alignment within yourself as well. So then the
Break that
universe
down
can
more
help
a little
you.
bit.
It's kind of like when you are not in an
I'm also gonna turn on the
alignment.
light because this is
Yes.
ridiculous.
So when you kind of like know an alignment within yourself, or you are not clear, or you're not like don't know where to wanna go. Yes, you can receive a sign, but you need to still ask for it. You need to be open. You need to be like in that alignment with yourself in a way, like you need to be surrendering a little bit, like both um, on a stream
Yeah,
that something happened.
it's
It's
trust basically. Open up to
yeah.
like the
When you open the
surrender trust.
exactly, when you open also that trust, you kind of like in a way you becoming a part of the flow. So you,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
because you work with your resistance, because a resistance is where you are in basically there is like the flow, and you are the rock in the middle of the river.
Mm-hmm.
That one is a force, like the rock using the force.
Mm-hmm.
The water is literally using like its own power, and but the force is what literally the resistance is what get out of the flow,
Yeah.
because it's not floating. But when you kind of like become more a leaf, surrender, so you're part of the flow, so you align yourself, so you activate your inner flow,
Yeah.
because you need to be in your own flow,
The inner compass.
so then you can flow with the flow,
Flow with the flow. No, that makes sense.
which is the basic also of manifestation.
It's relinquishing control. If you try to control it, control the outcome, control how it looks, control control what you want.
It's still controlled though, but it's a different, coming from a different place. It's more like than power. It's more like inner strength, something that's come within. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to necessarily control force in a force way.
That's why I said there's without control, basically, because I feel like there's effort and there's control. I feel
Okay.
like you can make effort without controlling.
Hmm.
Because if you're
Interesting
controlling,
prospect.
yeah, because I see what you're saying. Because you were saying control, and that's what my brain was like, that makes no sense. It doesn't compute. But you do need to have effort. So I think what it is like when you try to control something, you have a full concept of how you where the stream ends or how the stream looks and how it where it goes to. But the stream, when you get into a river,
No.
you don't control like, okay, the river's gonna stop me over there. The river's taking you where it takes you. Control is the river's gonna stop me over there. And but effort is the river's taking me down and I want to go over there, or I want to go in a direction that feels this way, that feels
Mm-hmm.
light. Let me navigate past these rocks because I'm still in the stream. The stream's still pulling you, but at least, or the river, but at least let me navigate past these rocks and
Mm-hmm.
move to a place that is more comfortable, where control is stopping yourself in the river to not hit a rock, or having the river completely like goes left and throw you off onto the, which is going to be resistant, going to be hard because then you have to push against the river to do that. Then you have to like fight against the river, which is pulling you still. Does that make sense? Is it,
Okay,
or is
so
it weird?
okay, so okay, I think like how you use
I'm
the
not good at with
control.
analogies. I should have never even tried. I don't know why I went into analogy. Basically, an
But I get
effort
it though.
is, yeah,
What you're saying.
effort is saying this is my wish. This is my wish.
Mm-hmm.
A wish doesn't have to involve anything but intention. This is my wish. And that intention is put out there. So then now I'm going to just start preparing for it
Okay.
or doing the things I love and trust that I give the blueprint of my wish to a higher power that will create the river flow.
Mm-hmm.
Controlling is I need it to be $10 million by tomorrow. I need this man to show up and tell me I'm beautiful and want to marry me. I need to look like this. I need to show up exactly like this. I need this to be. And then doing what you think you need to do to get that thing.
Mm.
That's you going completely against the river and against the thing. That's you becoming a rock in the.
Exactly.
That's literally becoming a rock or a stone. Not even a stone. You're literally a friggin' earth mountain in the
The
in the
middle
thing,
of the thing.
and river can't flow. It's not going anywhere, and you're not going anywhere. You're just in
It's
the
just like pass around you, but it doesn't like
take you where you need
take
to
you
go.
within.
So yeah, see, that's a better analogy, I guess. I'm not good at
Yeah.
analogies.
No, I get it what you're saying now.
But yeah. So that's where I feel like control is more where effort's just like
For example,
I
when
want to
I
go with
mean
this.
usually control, because for me it's like the control that you have outside is always kind of like a bit of an illusion, because you never have control about your side. The only real control that you have is on yourself
Mm-hmm.
inside. So for this reason, I was saying like the inner strength is like that things that is inside. It's not power. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
force.
Mm-hmm.
That is more active. It's more out there. So it's something very much inside.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
where like you need to apply the control inside, so in that way you don't become the mountain in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of
Yeah.
the stream.
Yeah, what I like to say, which is one of my favorite lines, and I actually got it again today during meditation, is we have power in our reaction. That's where our power lies in how you react.
100%. 100%.
And so there's a movie that I love that I thought of again, and I'm gonna find the name of it. It's a British movie. It's this girl who, if you see the thing, she has a just brown mask on, and they have a guard over her mouth, and it's the girl something something. And that movie makes me cry because I have seen what true power looks like when you look at this little girl in this movie.
Mm.
She represents true goddess, God incarnate power.
Okay.
It's the most beautiful thing. And actually, I can tell you why. It's in the beginning of the movie anyway. It's how she reacts. She's held in a jail cell.
Okay.
She's held captive. They see her as a monster. They spit at her, call her disgusting, all these things. And every morning they go to pick her up like she's an animal. She's like, "Good morning. Good morning, Frank. Good morning. Good morning. How are you today?" And they're like, "Shut up, you monster." She's like, "I hope you guys having a great day." And like, they cannot change who she is.
Okay.
No matter how much they treat her like trash and
Shit.
try, you cannot change who she decides she is. Who she is. Oh, I cry every time. I cry every time.
It's like choosing to be herself no matter what. To
Choosing
be
you
loyal to.
that's
Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
That anything around you can throw you around for a day. Like she's grown up like this and then did not choose who she is or tell her who she is. She told them, I am who I am. And you cannot change me. Oh God. Ugh. That's what I love in Black Panther. My favorite line is show them who you are.
Mm.
And that's my intention with every person I ever work with, every person I come in contact with, and for myself, for my children, and for my future family. It's always the holy energy of show them who you are. Don't ever let anybody else decide who you are. You show them who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where your power will be. Right there. Woo.
Ooh, a
Okay.
lot. A lot. How?
Thank you.
It's a lot of
This is
time.
another hour.
The funny things before we started, we were saying like, probably this one we're gonna finish argument very soon.
Yeah.
No.
1 hour.
More than 1 hour.
Oh yeah. No. Because that was 56 minutes. Oh no, 2 hours. Sorry, I meant to say 2 hours. 2 hours. But this is almost 1 hour. Anyway,
So,
thank you guys for coming.
thank you.
We want to try to do this some more.
Yes.
Um,
We still need to figure out like the base
yeah,
of the scheduling and everything. That one was just like, let's put it out there, let's move energy, let's be proactive on that, and let's see how
yeah.
it goes.
And so we're going to. I think we're going to even try to see how we can do this online from different
Yeah,
locations.
exactly.
Um, and yeah, we're gonna keep this
Yeah.
going. I'm gonna also have my own show by myself. I'm gonna have
Mhm.
try to continue the show with Fabio. I'm gonna have different ideas for a show that has come to mind.
Mhm.
But hopefully
Interesting.
you guys enjoy this very authentic,
Yes.
brutally authentic, I call it,
Mhm.
deep dive. With the audacity to be ourselves.
And
Where can they find you, Fabio?
if you want to reach out to me, you can find me on www.welux, welux.co.uk.
.co.uk because we're in London. Um, all right, and the social media stuff he will figure out, and we will get there.
Social media are on the web page. I have a blog there. I'm start to posting like
Yes.
articles, so you can have a read of things that I wrote it down. So yeah, there is a lot of for subscription. There is a guided meditation that I create.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes, it's exciting. I will. So yes, you can find his blog on his website, and then yeah, I
probably we
think you're
can
gonna
put the link
build.
down
Well, of course, yeah, that's what I meant to say. We're gonna put the link
down below
downstairs, um,
downstairs.
down in the thing. Um, to just walk down. You
Hi.
you can find me. Actually, I'm changing my Instagram to match this. Um, I think I'm still gonna make it gay sacred pleasure.
Okay, there is two
Figuring
options. I
it
say
out.
both.
Well, right now it's sacred queer intimacy, but if that hasn't changed, then it may be gay sacred pleasure. The other option I don't want to reveal yet because it tells too much. Um, but that is you'll find me on Instagram, which I mostly am. I'm usually this for Instagram. I can't keep up with all the social media. I am still a millennial. Okay, my bones don't ache anymore, so I won't even claim that. I'm good. I'm healthy. But I just don't have the time for all the social media. That's what it is. But that will all change. Things will expand. I will have more of a team coming in moving forward because I really am looking forward to our life moving forward. And if you relate to any of this, please don't forget to like. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps to create the community.
Also, commenting, tell us like your perspective on that, your
Dealing with grief,
dealing grief, or other problem that you have.
personal
To
choice.
sharing.
Yeah, you see how we talk. So if you would like to, for us to talk about any topics, anything
Yeah,
you may
exactly.
be dealing with or struggling with, or anything you're interested in, it could be something as emotional stuff we're really good at. But if it's something even like spiritual and deeply energetical, because he is very connected to this planet, like very connected to this planet, and in commune with literally the beings in the planet that you can see and cannot see. And I'm connected to more of the galactic spaces. I love galactic history. I love connected with the lives beyond this planet and bigger picture things. So I would say he's good at the face to face, coming down and looking at the face.
I see the tree and not, and sometimes the forest is looking the
Yeah,
space.
I see the whole country. I'm like,
The whole planet.
oh, the whole planet. And then he's like, yeah, but we're down to this one tree. Like, okay,
Yes.
fine, one tree. So yeah, that's why I love this idea of both of us doing this. We can grasp the full picture for you from the small details to the grander vision. So yeah, come play with us, come join us, and let's have this deep, amazing conversations, and be a part of this community. So please please share it, especially if you know anyone dealing with transitioning in 2025, personal choice, personal power, grieving of a lost loved one. This is the channel to do it. And we're going to have more episodes like this, and we're going to play with it a little bit. It's the first one. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great 2025, and we'll see you soon. So I should say, have a great January. Because we're gonna see you soon. Be here.
Bye.
Be square.